Thank you very much, colleagues, for coming and joining.
Merci beaucoup, chers collègues, de nous rejoindre cet après-midi. D'abord, j'aimerais m'excuser pour le retard de cette conférence de presse. D'après ce que j'ai conduit, certains d'entre vous étaient en train de faire le processus d'accréditation. Nous espérons que ça s'est bien passé. Si vous avez des défis, n'hésitez pas à nous le dire pendant ce briefing. Je me présente, je m'appelle Weni Musabayana, je suis chargée de communication et mon collègue qui est le directeur de la coordination du centre média ici à l'Union africaine. Au fur et à mesure de ce sommet, vous aurez du COREP, le comité des représentants. Du 7 du 8 février, à savoir à partir de demain, nous allons avoir la 34e session ordinaire du Conseil exécutif. Le Conseil exécutif se compose de ministres des Affaires étrangères pour la plupart, ou tout autre ministre qui aura été nommé par le gouvernement, par son gouvernement. Du 10 au 11, nous aurons la 32e session ordinaire de l'Assemblée des chefs d'État et de gouvernement de l'Union africaine. Comme vous le savez, la conférence des chefs d'État se compose de tous les 54 États. Pour ce qui est de la
to all the press conferences that we're going to be having. Media representatives who requested accreditation online or sent their forms through email or post, along with all the required documents, have been accredited and should obtain the security badge quite easily. The relevant authority of the government of Ethiopia and the African Union Commission are working together to assist you. And as I've mentioned before, we have a specialist in that area, and he's sitting right next to me. His name is Molalet. When it comes to the badges, there are essentially two types of badges that you are required to have. The first badge is one that is issued by the national authorities in Ethiopia. We call it a security badge, and I'm happy to see that some of you already have it. That is the badge with your photograph on it. That badge gives you access into this compound, into the AU compound. It, however, does not give you access into meetings. It doesn't give you access into any of the sessions. What then gives you access into the meeting rooms is the AU badge, the conference badge. You don't have it as yet. My understanding is that it will be given to you tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you need to be here early for you to be able to get that. It will be in briefing room number 5. Yes. Now, before, you used to go to Gion Hotel to get your security badge. But with the improvements in technology, the improvements in our service delivery to you, plus also the fact that now we have the physical capacity to handle this, that accreditation is now being done here at the AU. Mola will give you the details, but instead of going to Gion, after you've finished your accreditation process, you are then supposed to go to another portal, which is run by the government of Ethiopia. There you then register your interest in getting that security badge. Once you've done that, you can now come here and go to the new building. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's called the Integrated Services Building. That's where you then go to collect your security badge. So you no longer have to go to Gion if you have successfully accredited. However, if you have not then applied on that portal for you to get the security badge here, you would then be compelled to go back to Gion, where you now have to go through all that process of having your picture taken, filling out your forms before you get your badge. I hope that this is clear. All right. Thank you so much. So the person who is responsible for handing out the badges of the conference of the African Union is called Muluken. She works with Molalet, and she'll be in briefing room number 5 tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. to give you your conference badges. She will not give you your conference badge if you do not have the security badge. So you need to finish the process of the national security badge, then you get the conference badge. All right, now, in terms of access to the venue, media personnel will enter the summit venue through the main AU gate. The reporters will be accommodated up in the gallery in the plenary hall. The camera persons will be served on a first-come, first-served basis in order for them to get into Nelson Mandela Hall. And the rest who cannot be accommodated on the floor will go up to the balcony. We need to really emphasize this. First-come, first-served means that if you're a videographer, whether you are coming from government, whether you're coming with the president, whether you are coming from independent media, as long as you are accredited to cover the summit, you come here early, we give you a pass to enter into the plenary hall. We will give that, we have a very limited number of such passes. If you come late and those passes are finished, then you can no longer enter onto the floor of the plenary. You will then have to go up to the balcony. So if you want to be able to access the plenary hall, you need to come early so that you can get a pass. And then our colleague, her name is Afra Mohammed, she will then give you entrance into the plenary hall. The group photograph will take place before the opening ceremony, and it will be restricted to photographers and camera persons. And then there will be a checkpoint at the main entrance. We also encourage you, please do not, once you gain access into the plenary hall, try to restrict the number of times you need to move in and out of that hall, because it will be a very high pressure environment, especially on the day of the assembly. And there are hundreds of other journalists who want to get into that hall. So once you go in, please limit your movement out and back in again, because you may not actually be able to go back in. So just come in, settle down, and do your work. You will notice that security normally put barricades around the areas where they want to restrict movement, and we really implore you, please, to abide by those security instructions. Our security personnel will be here. We want to have an orderly summit, and therefore your cooperation would be greatly appreciated. I want to emphasize again before I leave this point that if you want to enter into the plenary hall and you're a videographer, you need to come here early. Early means around 7. Then you will be sure that you will get your pass, which will then give you access into the hall. Now for the reporters. The eastern gate of the new Complex 1 is a designated access gate for media who possess appropriate badges, both the security badge and the AU conference badge. Again, on this, in this regard, strict adherence to security procedures is required. Media are requested not to move around the lobby area for free movement of leaders and other participants during all the sessions, and to be stationed either in the media center or perhaps in whatever meeting rooms that meetings will be going on. We are also making arrangements to put up a tent as an overflow area. So far we have 450, is it? Yeah, just above 450 accredited journalists, and there may not be enough room for all of you in the media center. So because of that, we are making arrangements to try and put up a tent. We've got the permission to do this. Our budget has been allocated for it. Now it is the logistics of bringing in that tent so that those of you who cannot fit within this building can then utilize that tent. Camera persons. I come back to the issue of videographers. I think I've told you most of it. Let me see if there's something. We will have Afra. I've mentioned this before. She will show you exactly where to go and stand. And I think we've really covered the videographer issue. Let's move on to the photographers. Now, photographers will not be allowed on the floor of the plenary. Photographers are required to go up to the balcony. But we are aware that you need photographs of inside the plenary hall. The Commission has 3 photographers who will be working on that day. They will then supply you with those photographs through our Flickr account. We'll give you the details to that. If you keep checking our website, you'll see, in fact, you can access the Flickr site from the AU website. And then let's move on to the arrangements for the group photograph. The group photographs are open to accredited photographers who want to take it, and that is for both the Executive Council and for the heads of state and government. We don't really have a problem with the Executive Council arrangements. So most of the things that I'm talking about are of particular importance during the meeting of the heads of state and government. This photograph of the heads of state and government is scheduled to take place after their initial closed session. So they will have a closed session in the morning. And then between that and the opening session, this little time slot, that's when we'll have the group photograph. The program of events will guide you as to the times, but it is good for you to be on the alert and just watch out for when this group photograph is going to take place. It will take place on the ground floor. Normally it's taken outside this venue, I'm sure you're aware, where we have that big sun on the steps into the plenary hall. that's where it is going to be. And then after the group photograph, the photographers can now go up to the balcony, as I have already stated earlier. We do have media that come with their heads of state and government. Now, there are arrangements for those who come with their heads of state, for the videographer and the photographer of that head of state to enter the plenary hall at the time that their head of state is making an intervention. When it is the opening session, we don't have any problems. We've already gone over the procedure for that. But when it is a closed session and your head of state is going to make a delivery, then you need to contact Afra Mohammed. Her telephone number will be up on the website. You need to contact Afra so that she can make arrangements for the official photographer, the official videographer of that particular head of state to come in during the closed session, film as the head of state is making their delivery, and take photographs. Immediately after that, you are then required to exit the hall. We really have to try and minimize the inconvenience of camera people who enter into the room for their head of state and then refuse to go out after that. Because this is a closed session. Heads of state are having their meeting, so you can come in, film your head of state, and then quietly, immediately after that, you are expected to exit. Interviews with the leadership of the Commission. Our office, the Directorate of Information and Communication, offers the service of arranging media interviews for those who may want to have interviews with leadership of this commission. And the key contact persons for that, the first one is Molalet, who's here with me, and the second is Afra, who's not here, but her telephone numbers will be available. Media briefings by leaders of the different African Union organs and programs, as well as other leaders of the Commission, are going to be held. Already now we have the media briefing schedule done. Molalet, you can confirm for me how many have confirmed so far?
So far we have 8 confirmation.
From the Commission?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that the Commission leadership has 10 in terms of commissioners, the chairperson and the deputy chairperson, and 8 of those have confirmed. So you have quite a lot to look forward to in terms of accessing information from the Commission. We still have others who are yet to confirm, and then other directors of autonomous departments and divisions may also be included in that lineup. But so far already we have 10, and that is a very encouraging sign. And then let's come on to live streaming. The Commission will be streaming live all the opening sessions of the statutory meetings. They've already done the PRC, they will do the Executive Council, and they will do the Assembly. All those opening sessions will be live streamed. The closing session of the Assembly will also be live streamed, as will the press conference that will follow that closing session. All the press conferences will be live streamed as well. So you are quite welcome to join us either physically or on live stream to follow those proceedings. What we normally do is that just before the live stream begins, we send out a message. We send out a tweet. If you are on our database, sometimes we send out the message to your email address just to remind you that the live stream of this event is about to start, or the press conference of this event is about to start. The Media Center. It comprises a room which is, I think, just above us on that side. And it has computers and it has workspaces that you can utilize. It also has screens in the media center which bring in the output from the open sessions in the plenary hall. So at least you can be able to follow what is happening. But for you to get the sound, we do have sound boxes in the media center. These are audio sound boxes, and they are available in English, French, Arabic, and Portuguese. For each of those languages, there are 26 male audio outputs. So you can select whichever language you want to record in and make use of it. In that media center, you will also find all the announcements and documentation that is open for media. And those documents would be things like speeches, like press releases, invitations to various events that are happening, programs and announcements. So if there's anything that you cannot find, Molalet is your go-to guy in terms of media liaison. This is what I had to share with you today, but I'll take any questions if you might have any. Or clarifications, yes sir.
Where will be the tent?
The last time we had a tent, it was pitched just outside this security entrance. Yeah. But you will see it. If security advises a different place, contact Molalet and he will advise you where it is.
The other question about the media briefings with 8 commissioners.
Yes.
Separate media briefings or one media briefing with all the 8 present?
No. Each leader has a slot for a press conference, much like this one. So the Commissioner of Infrastructure and Energy, for example, would come and discuss issues, and then you would ask her questions. Then you'd have the next one and the next one. But Molalet is going to finalize that media press conference schedule. It will be available in the media center, and you can consult it whenever. Yes.
The media center will be reserved for journalists, or will it be open for everybody?
The media center is strictly for journalists. We try to discourage use of the media center by any other delegates because then it will become too full. So this is something that we really worked hard to get for journalists so that you can have your space. You will have Wi-Fi, you'll be able to do most of your work from there. Yeah.
If somebody has organized another interview away from what you have organized, do you have a room where we can book and do it?
Yes. And I'm happy that my colleague Jamal has just come in. Jamal is responsible for that room. It's just, I think, the room next door. But Jamal will advise. Briefing room 3. Yeah. So it is a room much like this one. It's soundproofed, so it's good for broadcasting. And it also has, we normally do an AU backdrop, and you can then do your bookings with Jamal. Yes.
Can that room take more than one interview at a time, or just one?
Well, physically it can take more, but I think practically it cannot, because if you're doing an interview here, you cannot have another one there. So you just need to book it so that it's you don't disturb each other. Yes.
Could you just confirm, once I have this badge, what I need is just the accreditation?
The African Union badge, the conference badge.
That's
Yes.
the only thing that we need.
Yes. But for you to be able to access the venues, you need to have both at the same time, because security will look at the two. And if you have one missing, then you will not be able to enter.
But I have to come in to get the AU badge.
Tomorrow. Yes.
That also indicate that we have 2 conference badges for the Executive Council and for the Assembly.
I see, all right. Molalet is just reminding me that the badges expire after a meeting. So if you have one for the Executive Council, you cannot then use it for the Assembly. So the day before the Assembly, You then come back and you get the one for the assembly. Yes.
At what time will be the opening of the Executive Council?
What time is the Executive Council opening?
It's
9 o'clock or 9:30? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
So it will be a short time between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
I think we'll then need, because our initial understanding was that it might start later, but given this, that it's confirmed for 9 o'clock, we'll start at 7:30. Yes. Any other questions? All right, so I think we'll close. Yes, yes, sir.
Just wanted to know if whilst you're live streaming, you can also live stream. Others can also live stream.
Others can also live stream
Yeah, if other media houses can also equally.
if they have the facility.
But
Yes.
we are live streaming this one actually.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Okay.
we are live streaming.
Okay. Which agency are you with?
Kuntisem from Accra.
Which one?
Kuntisem from Accra.
Wonderful. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so in conclusion, we are looking forward to a very successful summit. We are looking forward to forging closer working relationships with you. We've done quite a lot to make sure that the media environment is open, that media have access to as much information as possible. And we hope that the arrangements that we've put in place will be to your liking. If you do have any concerns, however, if you feel or perhaps you have a question, you're not quite sure of something, just feel free to contact any of the team members in DIC. Molalet is here, Sehene Mariam is here, Jamal is here, Mr. Gabri is here. So we have quite a team. And all those names will be on our final paper. We are going to put this up on the website, www.au.int. Please consult it if you need any further action, and then let us know. Okay, thank you so much.